Good morning, traders. Welcome to the trading room. For my YouTube viewers, good morning, good evening, good day too, depending on where you're watching this video. We're always taking these recordings live in our trading room. Once a week, I put them out on YouTube for viewers who like what I do. It's called wave analysis, something that I actually created. It's not Elliott wave theory and it's not Dow theory, but it's a kind of mixture of both. It's a new way of looking at the charts with precise patterns. So if you're stumbling onto my video for the first time, that introduction is for you. For those viewers who watch me very often, and for those of you who wrote me that you would like to join the group, yes, I am still trading people. We still have a very functional group, one of the most active trading groups I think that exist. We do a lot of live sessions. We do at least 3 live sessions a day. Sometimes that turn out to be 5. At least 4 is happening. One without me every morning, every Asian session. There's a session there that happens without me. The traders open the room themselves. If you want to know how that works, every single trader who is a full-time member can open the trading room and start trading with anybody else to join him. Right? So every member actively can be the host in the trading room. This is one of the unique group where that happens. Most groups, unless the person who's running the group is in there, you don't have an opportunity to open the group and be there with other traders. This is one of the few groups where you can actually do that within the trading group itself, not outside of the trading group, within the trading group. So here is a quick update on what's going to happen. If you would like to join us, there are 2 ways you can join. You can become a full-time member, which means you pay once for a lifetime access. You pay to get access to the training course. And after the training course, you will have lifetime access. You don't need to wait for when the training course is going to happen because there's going to be one training course happening at the start of next year, right? Just one. But there's a lot of videos for you to start looking at in the group right now before the training course. The training course is a live session where I'm there. We do Q&As. We look through all the topics we need to look through. You have a very good idea of how wave analysis works. Everything you need to know about trading, basically. There isn't a topic that you can ask questions out that we wouldn't try to answer. So it's anything and everything about trading. So, but the focus on the course is wave analysis, how we use wave analysis to make our analysis, what strategies we use to take advantage of the wave analysis, how we manage the trades we're in, and how we manage risk while we're in the trades, right? Trade management and risk management, and then how you're going to trade your account using money management. So most of these things are discussed, they're elaborate, you have an idea of what plan you can create for yourself. So if you want to be a full-time member and want to have access to everything, including all the live sessions we do and access to the trading room 24/7, you pay once for lifetime and you have access to it. If you had paid 5 years ago, you can consider yourself very lucky because the money you paid would have cost you, I don't know, less than $1 a day by now. And the longer you stay, the cheaper it become for you. If you're here for 10 years, you probably would have paid 10 cents a day, right? Then the longer you stay, the cheaper it become because it's a single payment for a lifetime. Now, you have access to this group because we like the successful traders to stay on. The reason it's free is because when traders become successful, we don't want them to leave because there will be no reason for them to pay to stay. Right? They're already successful, and we have a lot of those successful traders in the group. Every now and then, they themselves will be doing sessions with the traders who are struggling, right? Because I encourage that. I encourage them to come and share their knowledge and share what they're doing and how they're doing so that the traders who are struggling can take whatever they can from that and add it to what they're doing to become better. If you cannot afford the cost of the course, then you can join as an installment trader, which means you pay how much you can afford until you complete the full payment and get access to the group. But while you're doing that, we will give you access to 2 live sessions. That is this session that is happening right now, the London Open, and the next session is the New York Open. So you would have access to these 2 sessions twice a day. I think that is enough to save you from losing your account. If you stay with us in these 2 sessions, whatever mistakes you're about to make, you will probably correct it. Right? Now, I really don't like doing these ads. Again, you can believe it or not. I'm not, it's up to you. Do whatever you want. I'm not forcing you to come and join us. It's up to you. You can go read in the internet all kinds of nonsense and believe what you want. But if you do want to join us, you should look at a lot of my videos, decide whether this is something you want to learn, whether this is going to help you become a successful trader. I'm not trying to prove that to you. That has already been proven by my traders. I'm already not trying to prove to you whether I can make you a successful trader, because I've already made a lot of traders successful traders. So those two are not point that I'm trying to get over to you. Those are already proven. What is left is whether you want to join us. You have to make that decision. If you do want, you probably want to do that right now or within the next 2 months, because then the live course will be somewhere in January, February, right? You need to gather a lot of information before that, which means you need to look at a lot of videos before that. And then if you're joining as an installment trader, you'll probably get into the next live session, which will either be the end of the year or in the year after that. That is if I'm still here. Hopefully I'm still here. And by still here, I mean alive, because as long as I'm alive, I'm going to be here. Right? Now, I don't want to end in that sad moment. I intend to live a very long time. I'm a pretty healthy person, and I do a lot of exercise, so you don't have to worry about that. Here's the next thing you should know. Whether I'm here or not, this group will continue to function. It's structured in such a way that I don't need to be here for the group to function. And there's a lot of times when I'm not in the room for weeks, and it is functioning smoothly as you can imagine. And with very good people taking care of it, in good hands, with very good quality, and they're making money all the time. This is one of the few groups, again, that is structured that way. And that's because I want it to be that way. I want to know that if I'm not here, this group stays and continue to function. And I'm pretty sure it will, because it's a very good group of traders, and they're all friends by now, and I doubt they would want to go anywhere else. They don't have to pay to stay. They're paying $4 a month. That is just because we're using Facebook. Facebook is going to go away. We may find another place to move to. We're not the public Facebook workplace, for those of you who will be asking. We will find another place that is secure enough to keep the group. It might be free. It might be a few dollars a month. I think traders can afford that. So with that said, let's move on to what we're here for, the daily webinar. So I'm going to do just a few charts. I'm not going to do all of it because I don't want to make the YouTube video long, but we normally go through most of these during our sessions, most of these that you see here. And if there's any specific requests from any of our traders, we do look at them, especially on the crypto side, because there's a lot of cryptocurrencies that we looked at that most of our traders don't trade, but individually, some traders trade them. We still look at them, right? Dollar index. I'm going to go through the daily and the dollar index so you have an idea of something you can look at. So here is, if you're seeing this video for the first time, here's what you need to know. You need to know that this arrow was here while this was going down. So this up arrow, this arrow of breaking this low and turning to go back up, was here while we were going down, which means we knew that when it break that low, it was going to go back up. Now, if you didn't make any money in this, and by this, I don't mean specifically the dollar index, I mean all the other pairs. Here's what you need to know, is that this arrow is standing here now. And it might look like just an arrow to you. It might look like something that is impossible to happen. But when we break this stop, one out of two things is going to happen. It is going to immediately turn like this and come back to retest this low, or it might even go a little more, but it's going to turn and come back and retest this low. And the chance of it coming back to retest this low is equal to 99.9999%. That's the confidence I'm telling you that the down move is going to happen to retest this low. Regardless of whether this go all the way to the top here or not, whether it breaks this top or not, it has to come back here and go, because that is how 99.999% of the patterns behave. And these are specific patterns. I can go through them and show you all of them. Here is another one. You don't even have to go very far for it. When this was happening, if you were with me, I kept telling you as it comes to the top here, it is going to come back to the bottom before it goes. Because this is a classical pattern. This is a classical pattern. And we are in a classical pattern at the moment. We're in the middle of that pattern. So is it going to just break the top and turn, or is it going to go all the way to this top? This one could have just break this top here and turn, or it could have gone all the way to the top here and then come back. So what would it be here? It doesn't matter. In the big picture of things, it really doesn't matter because we don't trade the weekly and the daily. We trade the 1 hour and the 15 minutes, which means while that is happening, we are buying and selling, buying and selling, buying and selling all the way. And we will continue to do that, but we have a perspective of which direction it's going. So when it starts to go down, the selling would be more dominant than the buying. When it's keep going up, the buying would be more dominant than the selling. So you can take a snapshot of this and keep it if you don't believe in wave analysis, or that is something you think is magical, or it never happens, or all this is a guesswork. And then come back to me when you see this come at the bottom here. That'll be in a year time, maybe. I don't know how long it's going to take to go there. But by then you will learn something. Let's go now. 15 minutes. This is where we trade. We're looking for a buy setup, which means this consolidation here will continue for a while. It's very likely going to stay here for a while, maybe some more of this, and then it's going to go straight out. We need to break the top. I think it's going to go much more than just above the top, because this is in the daily structure, this is nothing. The daily structure, this thing can go about 500 pips above, even 1,000 pips above, and still come back. Within the daily structure, that is still the daily flat pattern. So we're looking for buy setups. Silver, short-term buy setups, long-term, we'll see what happens. So this was the sell. Again, here's where strategy and management comes in, right? So if you sold this here, you close that trade before it goes back up. This is what we do on a daily basis, called trade management. The number one thing you need to learn so you don't lose your account. And that's the number one reason most traders lose their account. Not because they can't get a winning trade, but because they don't know how to close a losing trade. Now, if you go back and you look at your account and you've ever lost an account, go back and see how many losing trades you had when you lost the account. I guarantee you it's less than 10%. You lost the entire account with less than 10% losing trade. That is because I've seen enough accounts to know that that is how it happens. Right? You got 90% really nice trades, 80% were winning trades, and then 10% were bad trades that lost the account. So what is it you need to focus on? How to exit trade, not how to enter trade. And if you learn how to exit trade correctly, when you take a trade like this and it doesn't go, you exit the trade. Now I'll show you a trade that we took this morning that my traders should have exited once. It continued to go. They got back in. And like I said, just told them they should have closed it already again and re-enter, put another entry. Now this one came a little lower. That's a buy setup, but you want to be careful of this buy setup because it's inside of this one, which means that if this goes here, it's probably going to come back here and then go. I think this is making a bigger flat. So this would not be a buy, although it's a buy setup. You let it break the top, and if it makes a flag here, then we continue to buy. If it pulls back, you can probably even get a sell. If you don't get a sell, let it come here, then look for a buy to the upside. This would be the first move, this would be the flat, and that would be the next move. We'll see what happens after that. So I'll take off this buy setup for now. Gold, definitely a buy setup, and you should take it. I think we should take the gold buy setup. Now it has a flat for downside. This looks like a flat for downside, but put an entry above. Put an entry above here, not just above this. This looks like it could drop one more because the depth of this pullback. See the depth of that pullback looks like it could drop one more. It will still be an upside. If it comes back here, put the entry here. But if it's going to go now, put the entry there. Remember, it can break the top and pull back. We discussed that this morning. There's a good chance because gold is going down now. It's not going up, it's going down. So if you take that buy, you have to take it with caution. There is a good chance it might just break the top like this and start pulling back. So if you know how to exit that trade, take the trade. If you're not sure you can exit that trade, should it not go, then don't take the trade. Right? Because there's a good chance it might just break the top and start pulling back and go for the sell. We'll go for the sell setup. Right? It's going down. It started from here. This was an all-time top, and then now it's going down. I think there's a lot more downside. At least this much more before we can think of whether it's going to go up. We're matching this with which one? Let me go back to the daily, see which one we're matching that with. Nothing specific, just a pullback. We're thinking of a deeper pullback like these. So we're not matching it with anything. We're just thinking if it's making a big flat like this, because all the other flats are smaller, it could come here and then start to make a deeper correction. Right? So that means it's all downside. Go back to the 1 hour. Expect the deeper correction. And this is a buy setup, but the chances are it might not go very far. By the way, if this becomes a sell, consider this trade. We spoke about this morning, right? So if this becomes a sell, you can probably take that, because what if this is 1, 2, 3 and it's dropping? We don't have divergence, but it can drop. We've seen that before. You'll have to just be aware that if it drops through here and start to go back up, you're out of the trade. Right? So you have to manage the sell as well as you'll have to manage the buy. Both of them are risky at this moment. But if this one dropped through the bottom here, good, stay with it. If this one breaks the top, put it to break even. Those are the trades you can take. I think the first one will come down. Because of the depth of this pullback, it will probably drop one more. So we can put both sides on this trade. I think you guys know how to manage them. So I'll put both sides and I'll put it open to both sides right now. Both of them are small trades until they break out in one direction. Right? So both of those are very small. This means come here and go back up. This means go there and come back down until they take off in one direction. And both directions are possible to take off in. Euro consolidating. I think this consolidation will stay on for a while. This take off the buy because it's not going. Anytime you have a buy setup and it starts to do this, take off the buy. It probably will still go, but you're not buying into something like this. This was the sell. That was the sell. We had that on Friday, and the sell was here. Those of you who took the sell managed to pull it out because the trade we were looking for was the equivalent of this. You remember Friday, I said when it get there, take off the trade. So when it got there, you should take off the trade. If you took that, well done. Good job. So now it actually pulled back and came here. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this here, right? So I still think it's a possible running flat. I still think this because this is the low, right? I still think, but this piece is consolidating. If that happens, we're going to look for a much more complex pattern. So right now, this is consolidating. Let's wait and see. It's not going up as this move. So we'll just have to wait some more. If you end up getting a big flat in here, which seems very likely, right? If we end up getting a big flat in here like this, it means we're going to come back here. We're going to go back up. We might even retest the low, make this into a flat, go back up, come back down, go back up. All you're going to get is a big sideways here for downside. So this might just draw out into a bigger correction before it drops. The final one is dropping to the bottom and then turning. So makes a big flat there. We break this low. There'll be a lot of divergence and then upside. Pretty much like this one, right? See how long that took and then it just dropped. So the same thing, this might be the start. Very similar to this big flat here and then they went up. See this big flat, but then this kind of crawl up. Let's see if it crawls up and then we'll see what to do with it. So right now, there's no really good trade in it. The buy is off. We'll just leave it. This was the sell. Take that off. That was the sell on Friday. Take that off. I don't think you should sell this as yet, even if it's going to drop, because it's still within about 3 impulses that needs to finish. Pong, you probably are tagged in the Pong if you're in it with us this morning. No problem. It didn't break the top. Keep your stop here. Now we're going to look to exit that trade. So if you're tagged there and it comes back here and it doesn't pass through, if it passed through, you stay with it. But if it comes back like this, close it, let it drop again, put the entry here, and we're going for the buy. It's still a buy. So it's either going to do one of two things. It's going to go through the top now, or it's going to do this. The trade we're looking for is a possibility that it might be a running flat. That in mind, there's a possibility we're doing a running flat here. So this could come here, take profit, and then look for a sell setup. Can it be more complex? Absolutely. We're not going to go into the complexity here. So this has to go straight through now. If you're not in the trade, put an entry above the top, which is just a few pips above this one. That's a buy setup. Aussie? Okay, Aussie, we didn't put anything. This was a sell on Friday. Take that off. This is the low, not a trade. This one is going up, but I don't think we want to buy it because it's kind of, even if it goes, it's probably just going to do this and come back here. And then crawl up back and then we drop. I think there's a flat forming here. It could be more complex than that, but for now, I think that is what it's going to be. This piece is not making a lot of sense. It's very corrective. This piece, these two pieces fits like a flat perfect, but we're not getting this one. I don't think it's that. Because if it's that, this one should be dropping already. So we'll just have to wait and see what it's doing. It's a consolidation for downside. We're not going to get this impulse. We were looking for this. I don't think that is going to happen as yet. It could, this one could start to take off. Right, and if that takes off, then we will put these two together as a contracting flat. But this has to really take off and then make a flag, and then we can consider the buy. Right, if that happens. It has to move away from this consolidation and give us a buy. So there's no trade there as yet. New Zealand, yeah, you can look for the buy. It dropped. I don't think that sell was a good idea. It's here. I still don't think you want to sell it as yet because we still have to get a move up. The move up I was looking at was this one, right? This move up here. This one did go up, make a big flat here and then go, right? So this up move with a big flat is possible. You've got to move up. You're getting a big flat here. That buy seems possible. Let's see if it goes up, make a flag, we take the trade. If it keeps dropping, there's no sell setup as yet because we still haven't broken this low. Right? We're still there. So the only thing I think of, look for a buy setup before it gets to the top here. So what the risk is, you want this trade to go up, you want the flag, you want to buy this flag, you want it to go to this level, get it to positive, and then see if it continues to go. Right? This is easy. This one is not difficult. CAD. CAD is coming down. I don't know if you want to sell. It's a very small trade. Probably ignore it until it gets to the bottom. It will probably stay here a while more. Because this one will come here. It might go back up. Come here again, give you that flat. And then we look for the buy setup. Now, if it breaks this low, if this one drops and breaks the low, look for a buy setup back to the top. Even if it comes back down, you will still get out of that trade for positive. So I think we're expecting this here, but I don't think we're going to get this as yet. So most likely, if this flat stays here and it comes here and then go back up there and then come back here and then go, there's a chance you can still get this. But if you're buying it from here, that's not a problem. If you're buying this one from here and it goes here, come back, not a problem. Swiss, it's a very complex mess. Just leave it alone for now. Yen was a buy setup. Again, you might be tagged on the yen. If you're tagged in it, you want to close it. There's too much consolidation here. See? You want to close it for positive if you can, or break even. And then re-enter. Okay, dollar yen. So if you got tagged on this one, it pull back, it tag you again, it pulling back, it will tag you again, close the trade. So on the 15, any pullback that comes here, take it, close it, because this is starting to look like a slow move up. Right? So if you get a chance there, close it, we look for another entry. It's still upside. I don't think it's downside. Unless this is trying to make a bigger flat here and drop one more before they go back up. So you'll get out of this trade, and then we look for a next entry. The longer it stays, the higher the probability is that if it stays here, it's going to probably come back here, then go. That becomes a flat. This becomes a flat. and then downside. So this is the one. If you enter here, if you were in the room this morning, I said close it at the top here. And if you did, you would have the entry at the top here. You close it. Let me take a line first. You would close it here, but you put an entry above the top, which is about a few pips like that. And then you got tagged here and it's going. The same thing you probably should have done here in the 5 minutes is close it here and re-enter here if you want, if you're already in the trade. Close and re-enter, maybe even a few pips higher like that. So now you're back in the trade. If you're still in the trade, put it to positive, move your stop to here. And now we'll see how far it goes. Remember, it broke the stop. We don't know how far it's going to go, but it will continue to go. This one is not one you should buy now if you're not in the trade from the bottom here or from the bottom here. Right? Just like this one. You don't try to buy when you break the top and it's already there, because that's more of a turning point. Right? But if you're already in the trade and it continues to go, you want to be in it. If you're still in the trade from here and it starts to turn, you will close it, which is what we're going to do here, right? If this just break the top and start to pull back, we'll close the trade. Euro Swiss, it's coming down. Not exactly the way I expect it to come down, but it's coming down. So it's kind of repeating mostly this one with a pullback here and a pullback there. So it's going to drop a little more. This will probably drop a little more. And then the up move. Probably just let it drop and then we look for the up move. Right? I think it's going to come more like this here. We may not break this low. Not necessarily they break the low, but they could come all the way to that. And then from there upside. There's a small trade to the downside. I think we'll ignore it. Euros. If you got tagged and it's pulling back, I think this was Friday, that wasn't this morning, but it doesn't matter. If you got tagged here and it's pulling back, don't need to worry. It's just making a running flat, right? It could go back up. I thought this would come deeper like this. But this could still be a running flat here, right? If we look at this as a possible running flat. So just keep a stop higher. You definitely don't want to put your stop here. And if this goes here, break the top, look for a sell setup. Right, so when it breaks this top, there's a chance it's going to turn to the downside. Look for the sell setup. Okay, that is for all the euro. I would do some of these. Let me do some of these. Natural gas. Some more. Look for a sell. It has to break this top. Let it go break the top and then look for the sell setup. US oil. I think US oil was a buy setup this morning. That is this one here. Right? You're probably tagged and it's pulling back. If that happens, look for an exit, right? Because we were expecting it to go up more. Again, we couldn't figure out this pattern. We figured it's not really working very well. I would say don't put a stop exactly here because it can come here, tag you, take you out, and then go. If you have a stop here, wait for that to pull back, close the trade. Pull back as a flag or go back up sharp, you will get. If it goes back up sharp, you move your stop. If it pulls back with a flag, close the trade. US 30. If you sold it, close it, you probably still have a sell setup, but wait for it to finish the consolidation. I think that there's a chance it's going to come back to this stop. Probably go back there and then drop. If not, let it break through this one, make a flag here, and then sell this flag. Same thing here, sell setup. S&P 500. That sell was good, but wait for this. This looks more like a buy setup here now. It's a buy setup until it comes to the bottom. So if this should go back to the bottom here, you take off the buy. But if it goes up from here, you want the trade. So right now it's a buy setup. Okay, we're gonna skip the rest, and I'm gonna do a few cryptos. Bitcoin breaking out, there's more upside. So this flat broke. This one is still within this structure, right? If you look at it this way, it's still within this structure, still within the still within this pullback. So there's a very good chance that this thing is making a much more deeper correction. Let me take this out. Good. I think buying it here, if you're already in the buy, you just have to manage. But I think buying it here is not a good idea. If it comes back here, then we buy. Maybe we can even sell it down. Right? So if it comes back, then the buy setup makes sense. Sorry, wrong one. Let me just get this. Yes, now we wait. Wait for that consolidation to finish, and then we'll get a buy setup. Ethereum. Consolidating here, nothing much. You're getting this consolidation here. That is come back here, go back up there. Come back here, probably complete the flat like that, and then you get a short-term sell setup. This might take a while, just leave it for now. All right, the bigger picture is downside, but we don't have a setup for the sellers yet. Okay, there was a spike here. Where do we think it's going? So we were expecting it to come and break this top. That's all, but it went much more. So let's see if it's ready for a downside. Good. The idea was for this to come and break the top. We actually broke the top. So now we've got 1, 2, 3. We've got 1, 2, 3. Is it ready for downside? So the way I see it is this. This should come back, but we don't have any setup as yet. Let's go back to here. Go back to the 1 hour and see if we have any sell setup. You might be making a flag here for the sell. It's not back at the top as yet. Put this here and wait for a sell setup. Wait for the sell setup. If it goes higher, then don't put it. I'll put it like this. If it goes higher than that, don't sell it. Because if it goes higher, if we end up going here, we're going to come back here, make a flat, and then continue to go up one more at least. But the sell setup here is very valid because of the move that already happened. All right, we'll do one more, and then we'll go with that. This is still upside. This is still possible upside. We might come to break that up. Let's say, yeah, we're trying to go back to break that up, maybe. So we need to go break that up. You can see the pattern. We've got this, we're going there. But then again, if you look at it, this had a huge correction here. So I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of stop here for a while, then do this and then come. Right? Maybe not as big as this, maybe something like that. Go there and come. So it is consolidating. That consolidation has at least one more move up, and then we'll see where that goes from there. All right, so my YouTube viewers, again, I hope whatever we do here makes sense to you and that it's usable. You can use it for your trading. If you would like to join us, either as a full-time trader or as an installment payer, send me a Skype message, and I would give you the details on how you can do that. That said, I hope you have a great week ahead of you, and I hope you made some money. So trade with care. Thank you. Bye.